What is going on, guys? So if you saw my last video, I talked a bit about my split and what I do during the week, and I talked a bit about a compound day. So today I'm going to be showing you my full body compound workout at home. So as it is at home and most of us can't really go to the gym yet, I'm going to be giving you two options, a barbell option and also a body weight or a household item option, so none of you feel left out and we can all get involved and do this workout. All right, I think that's enough said. Let's get straight into this video. Also follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to get to 10K. Don't forget to mention, if you guys don't understand what a compound movement is, it's basically an exercise that involves a load of muscles. So it's like more than 2 or 3 muscles in the movement, and an isolation exercise is one that only involves like 1 or 2 muscles. For example, a dumbbell bicep curl would be an isolation movement or a tricep extension, and then a bench press would be a compound movement, same with a deadlift or a squat, because it does involve a lot of muscle groups in one exercise. So I've structured the exercises so none of your muscles get too fatigued, so you can finish this whole workout. So you don't want to be doing obviously arms before you do chest, arms before you do back. So I've structured it in the perfect way so you can get it all done. So what you lot want to do first is go over and grab your barbell to do some barbell rows. You guys know how to do this. So what you guys want to do is just pick up that barbell, try and keep your back as straight as possible. Keep your legs in like a shoulder width position. And you just want to row that and try and contract your back as hard as you can, holding the contraction on each rep. This will hit your lats, your upper back, like your teres major, also your rear delt, and it'll also hit your biceps a bit. So this is like one stimulation for the biceps, but this exercise is mainly for the lats, and it gives you that thickness on the back. So make sure you are implementing these into your compound day. If you lot that do not have a barbell, you can just do some pull-ups. So you can just do these on a tree or a door frame, or if you do have a pull-up bar, it's even better, or you can head to a park to do it. But you really do need to implement some pull-ups if you do not have a barbell to do rows. I'm not the best, but you got to do it. So you want to do about 3 sets of 12 on the rows and 3 sets of 12 on the pull-ups, and or if you're doing the pull-ups or the rows. And then you want to pick up your barbell again and do some overhead press. You want to grab like a middle to wide grip. So as you are training at home, you might not have a rack to do these overhead presses, so you need to be careful of your back when you are swinging it up and your shoulders. But once you have got that mid to wide grip, you just want to get some reps out, trying to contract your shoulders. You're going to be using your front and side delt as much as possible. So you want to try and hold that contraction at the top, let it down slowly for the eccentric, and then contract hard at the top once again. As you can see here, I'm putting a lot of effort into this movement. It is quite hard to do, especially without a rack. So make sure you guys are doing these for that compound overload of your shoulders. You lot that do not have a barbell, don't worry, you can go over to your wall and do some handstand push-ups. So you want to get up in that handstand position against your wall, as it is quite hard to do without a wall. You just want to try and put out as many reps as you can. I can see that it could be quite hard to do 3 sets of 12. And if this is too hard for you guys, I have got an option for you beginners. You just need to grab a chair and do pretty much the exact same thing, just without your handstand right up into the handstand position. This can be a lot easier for you beginners, but it still gives you that overload that you need on your shoulders to grow that size on a compound kind of movement at home. Because this is the easier option, do make sure you do 3 sets of 12 on this to get that effectiveness. So then you want to head over to your bench press or the pile of bricks that I use as a bench press and just do some bench press. So what you guys want to focus on with this bench press is getting that full stretch at the bottom to stretch out your pectoral muscle, tear all those fibers, and a really hard contraction at the top. Try and like squeeze your biceps together to make your chest come into adduction and contract as hard as possible. And try and slow down the eccentric as much as possible, and then get that fast, hard contraction at the top. Bench press is so important for building that chest thickness and width, so make sure you are doing this if you are doing your compound day. And if you guys do not have a bench press or a barbell, I have got a different option for all of you lot, so you can still get that full development in your chest. And for you lot that do not have that bench press, you just want to do some push-ups, and you can also do some variation of push-ups. So as it is only a push-up, you do want to try and focus on doing maybe 15 to 20 reps, so it makes it that bit harder, so you do get some progressive overload. And you also want to focus on contracting your chest as hard as possible at the top of this movement to get that full development in the inner and outer chest. As this is a compound day, we won't be doing any lower or upper chest. We're just going to be doing chest all together, so these push-ups will be good enough. But if this isn't hard enough for you guys, I have got some other options. So if you are struggling to see the difference between these two exercises, this exercise gives you that relative cross-body adduction on the chest, which is a function of the chest to bring your arm across the body. But as our arms are staying still, we have to move ourselves to our arm. So this gives you some extra development in the inner chest. So please make sure you are doing these if the push-up is a little bit too easy. So this diamond push-up gets your hands close together so you get extra adduction. This kind of focuses on a little bit more of the lower chest, which isn't bad. It's still like a compound movement, so make sure you're doing this if you want to make it a little bit harder. And then guys, you come over again with the barbell and do some bicep curls. So with a barbell curl, you do want to make sure you are loading it up quite heavy. Your biceps can handle quite a lot of weight, but what you want to do is bring the curl up without trying to swing, and then you want to lower the eccentric as slow as possible to tear those fibers down. This can be like the best exercise for biceps. You don't even really need another exercise. I obviously recommend doing more, but this exercise can build you some huge biceps on its own. So make sure you are doing it with the proper technique. Keep your back upright, do not swing, and make sure you are controlling that eccentric on the way down. Do about 3 sets of 12. And if you do not have that barbell, go and grab your bike right out the shed or anything you have in your garden that may be heavy and just do some curls. No, I'm not crazy. I'm actually using my bike to do some bicep curls. You've got to make substitutions if you do not have those weights. You've got to still get everything done. So using your bike can be just as effective as using a barbell as long as you still keep the proper technique. And if your bike isn't too light, it should be okay. You don't have to use your bike. Obviously, you can use like a loaded bag. I just use my bike as an example. And then if you guys have a bench, you want to go over to that. I just use a pile of bricks and you just want to do some skull crushes because I think this is the best exercise for triceps other than close grip bench press. But if we're already doing bench press for chest, you might as well just do them skull crushes. So you want to try let your arms drift back overhead as much as possible to get that stretch on the long head of the tricep so you can get a bigger contraction at the top. Stretching it out will help to build it, and the long head is the biggest part of the tricep. The tricep is the biggest part of the arm. So tricep exercises are so important. So make sure you are doing some skull crushes if you can. 3 sets of 12 will also be great for this exercise. And if you do not have a barbell, do not worry, I haven't forgot about you. You can just grab a chair or do it on your bed. Just do some dips. Make sure you're keeping your arms right back behind your body to get that contraction on the long head, train behind the body. Just do these. They're really effective for the whole part of the tricep. So if you do not have a weight, these can be just as effective for a compound movement. So now we've hit the upper body, we can go over to the barbell again and do some barbell squats. So obviously squats are one of the most effective lower body movements. You don't even really need to do any other part of your leg if you are doing squats because it does involve all of it. Obviously when you're doing isolation, you're going to do other parts. But for this compound day, just a barbell squat is enough. You want to make sure you're keeping your lower back straight to avoid injury. Make sure you're squatting all the way down as far as you can. If you do need something to stand on, that's fine. But do make sure you are keeping the correct form to avoid injury and to get most of the gains you can. This is preferentially for the quads, but it does also hit your hamstrings as well. Also, your glutes are really involved with this movement. Another 3 sets of 12. You do want to do about 3 sets of 12 on every exercise I am saying today. So if you're wondering how many do I do on this one, 3 sets of 12. And if you do have no barbell, just do the squats without the weight or hold like a school bag full of books, a backpack, whatever you've got to weight it, just do them. The same rule applies here. It's pretty much exactly the same as a barbell squat, obviously just without the barbell. It's just as effective as long as you do some more reps. So you might want to do 20 to 25 reps instead of those 12. Because you haven't got as much weight, you need to progressively overload with the volume and the amount of sets rather than the weight that you are holding. So make sure you're doing more reps than usual. Then you want to go onto the deadlift. You just pick up that barbell deadlift. So deadlifts are so important because you use so many different muscles in this movement. So you need to make sure you are involving this into your training all the time, but as well as compound day because you're using your legs, your back, your traps, your biceps a bit, your triceps lock out, your arms, your forearms. So this is a great movement that you guys want to be doing. It also gives you so much lower back stability, which you need for every exercise that you're doing, bent over rows. So do make sure you are involving heavyweight back deadlift training. You want to do 3 sets of 12 on this exercise, but if you do not have a barbell, I have got an option for you that isn't as effective, but it will work. And if you do not have a barbell, you just want to do some torso up movements. So you will need someone to hold your legs doing this. You can do this on like the edge of a bed. I'm doing it off my trampoline as an example, but there is so many places you can do this. This is great for the lower back. It gives you the effect of the deadlift without any weights. And then to finish off this full body day, we can't exclude abs. So my best exercise is V-sits. I like the V-sit because it involves the upper and the lower abs, so you get like a full ab movement. I've got like full ab workouts on the channel if you guys want to check them out. But for this compound day, I'm just going to do some V-sits because it does involve most of the muscles in the abdomen, like the transverse abdominis, the rectus abdominis, the obliques are kind of involved. So make sure you are doing some V-sits to finish off this full compound day. But for this one, you'd want to do about 3 sets of maybe 20 to 25 reps. And I know this is a compound day, but if you guys have any muscles that you think need an extra bit of touching up, like for me it's calves, just do that exercise as well. No one's stopping you. So it is good to involve calf raises in your compound day because not many of the exercises that we did do today do involve calves. So if you are struggling with calf size, do make sure you do some calf raises. If you do not have a barbell, you can just do some calf raises without any weight. You do not need weight for this, but obviously it is better if you do have some, maybe hold like a plant part, anything in your hand to weight it. But please make sure you are going right onto your tiptoes and feeling that full contraction at the top, so you do involve the full gastrocnemius muscle. 3 sets of 12 will be plenty for this exercise if you want to do it. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, comment below and tell me, and I'll do more videos like this for the muscles. So you lot can take a screenshot of this right now if you guys want to do this workout as well, so you don't forget anything. Also follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to get to 10k. You can add me on Snapchat. You can message me over there. Remember to subscribe, it helps me out a lot. Remember to drop a like on this video so we can get this video as far out as possible. Alright guys, I will see you in the next video. Bless.